Hello, this is Benton Belcher, MapDotNet Business Development Manager. This is the second video for our OpenIntel 2 Spatial Business Intelligence. Today we're going to be looking at the new drawing and querying components. The new drawing and querying components allow you to draw shapes on the map for the purposes of markup or querying. The types of shapes we support are polygons, polylines, squares, radiuses, as well as being able to create a shape from an existing layer feature with an optional buffer. Drawn shapes can be used for markup or spatial querying, and shapes can be saved in a map share. One of the great things about drawing is the ability to then tackle the territory management problem, which is very complex. For example, Organization A wants to be able to draw territories based on existing boundaries like zip codes, counties, or states, while Organization B wants to be able to manually draw territories along roads or city blocks. And then some organizations need to take both approaches. Drawing support in OpenIntel 2 addresses territory management like no other product on the market. OpenIntel 2 allows you to draw shapes manually or select pre-existing features from geographic boundaries such as countries, counties, zip codes, census tracts, or block groups. So we've got two demos. The first one is just going to showcase the drawing shapes in general, and then the second one is looking specifically at the territory management. So now I'm in OpenIntel. I'm going to add two layers to my map and zoom into Tallahassee and turn on the first layer, which is the accounts. This is an accounts table from CRM that we've used our CRM synchronization utility to get this data into SQL Server. Now I'm going to click the shape editor and start drawing shapes out here on the map. I'm going to draw a square, a radius. Now I'm going to quickly draw a polygon out here on the map. You notice I'm just clicking nodes. After you draw your shape, you click Finish. So now I'm in polyline drawing mode, and I can draw some shapes out, some nodes out there, and click Finish. Now we can select color, line weight. We can set a fill color for shapes with areas. You'll notice that you can click on a feature to delete it after clicking the trash can icon. So what I'm going to do next is modify the fill color of the polygon that we've drawn here. So I'll make the opacity 0.25. And I'm going to zoom in, and now I'm going to edit this shape that we just drew. So I click the little edit link, and it allows you to go back into edit mode and now drag nodes around, add nodes, delete nodes. So once I click Finish there, I'm going to use this shape to now do a spatial query. So I'm going to click this query link here. And that's going to query my target layer, which is accounts from CRM. And that target layer is up there in the upper right-hand corner. So there I get my results in my data grid, and I can click through those, and it will put a little call out. So next I'm going to delete that shape, and I'm going to zoom into this Sonny's Barbecue location. And once I zoom into this location, I'm going to click on the actual feature. And in the callout, there's now a little link button that says Create Shape. And when you create shape, it gives you the option to either create the shape or create it with a buffer. So for points, you have to put a buffer in. We'll put in 1,500 meters there. So now it creates a radius around that. So next, I'm going to switch to property parcels as my target query layer and click Query. Now what happened was it just did a query for all of the property parcels that were in that 1,500-foot radius. So next, I'm going to click Export to CSV. And with my property parcels, I've got a list of addresses. So basically, I was able to just create a mailing list by selecting a store location, creating a shape from that buffer, and then using that shape to query a target layer. So next we're going to look at territory management in a little bit more detail. So I mentioned you're able to select features from an existing layer. So I'm going to add two layers to my map this time. I'm going to add accounts, and I'm going to add Florida counties. So in this example, we're going to zoom into South Florida. And the first territory that I'm going to create is based on an existing feature. So this existing feature is a county boundary. And I'm going to choose Broward County, which is where Fort Lauderdale is. And all I have to do is open the tool editor and go out there and click that feature on the map. and then it brings up the dialog box. I don't want to do a buffer, and I click that, and it now selects that. So the next thing I'm going to do is create a free-formed territory, and I'm going to make this territory right underneath the county boundary territory that I just did. And what I did was I went into shape polygon drawing mode, and now I'm free-forming a polygon out there on the map. You can, while you're free-form drawing, you can zoom in, zoom out, you can add nodes, delete nodes, you can follow roads, you can switch into aerial view if you need to see a more detailed view of the area that you're digitizing. So this allows you to really make nice polygons that can be very exact when you need to do specific, very detailed territories. So once I click finish there, I'm going to add a fill color. You notice while I was drawing that it had the shape and measurement capability showing there in the left-hand panel. So finally, I'm going to set the color there, and now we've just created 2 territories in just a couple minutes. So this wraps up our brief overview of drawing and querying in OpenIntel 2, as well as looking at how OpenIntel 2 can help you solve territory management. Thanks for joining, and be sure to check out OpenIntel 2 on GitHub. You can download it today, github.com/mapsjs/oi2.